it's Cat Loafing and welcome back to another video. First November video. It's starting to get into the cooler seasons in Florida, and by cooler seasons I mean it's less than 75 degrees outside at nighttime. Only at nighttime. Woo! It's kind of nice outside. So I need some kind of warmer clothes because every time winter comes around, I always struggle to make outfits because every time I go to buy clothes, I'm always like, I'm never gonna wear that because it's too warm. And then it's less than 60 degrees outside and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So today we're gonna take one step closer to having an adequate winter wardrobe. I have an idea for a spiral pencil skirt in my head. I'll have to show you. So here's my sketch. It's just like a long maxi kind of pencil skirt with bands of different fabrics going around in a spiral. I wanted a good variation of patterns and colors, so I got two different fabrics from Etsy. I got this one, which is pink and shiny, and it's got roses on it. It's very cute. This one has very large flowers. And then I got another one with smaller flowers, and it's a little bit more dainty, a little bit more cutesy. And then I also have this fabric, this silky pink fabric from a spare bed sheet that I used to use that's just been rotting in my closet forever. Hopefully we have enough of this because I'm gonna use it for the underskirt too. I want this to have two layers. One of them is gonna be the pink inside layer, and then the outside layer will be the different bands of fabric in the spiral. So I got a pattern for a pencil skirt already. I already taped it together, put it together. I'll link the exact pattern that I used down below, but basically this is a pencil skirt pattern. Here, I'll show you. Comes up to there, touching the floor. Oh my goodness. It might want to make it a little bit shorter. Well, that's good to know. Make it a little bit shorter. But I already drew out the spiral pattern that I want to do. That's going to be a bit complicated. I'll show you how I did that later. But this is the only pattern piece that you're going to need. In the pattern that I linked down below, I'm using the C version of the pattern that I'm using. How many times can I say pattern? And it's going to give you half of the pattern. I just made two of them and taped them together to make a full thing, to make it easier to visualize the spiral. So I'm gonna go into floor troll mode and cut about 4 of these out of just the pink silky fabric.
After I cut them out, I immediately started sewing them up together. I only sewed one side together for right now, so I'll show you why I did that.
So I want to try this on really quick. Show you. This is going to be the inside, so don't think about it too much, the way that it looks. But I only have that much room. So I was wondering how on earth I'm going to get this on my body. And my friend Lindsay suggested that I do buttons. So we're gonna have to go to Michael's and get some buttons. But for now, I'm going to sew this up and just leave about that much room for 2 buttons. Yeah, I can get it over my big fat butt. Cool. Oh my goodness, I'm already excited. Okay. But I'm gonna meet you on the floor to show you how to do the spiral part. Excuse my horrible floor. Here. I've already drawn out all the lines for the things that I want. So I have all these markers, and you want to point out where the side is. Let's see, like this one ends right here. So on the back, excuse the dog hair and the people hair. There's a lot of hair in this house. So then I drew it over and connected it to the other side. So I know I'm not using exact measurements on here, but I feel like that's okay because I want this to look like a little homemade. I'm trying to make it mimic the look of a quilt almost. So I want the grandma Coquette cottagecore keyword vibes. I want all the vibes. So I'm gonna cut out my fabric now. I'm gonna write down which fabric is supposed to be what. So I just thought of a much easier way to do this while I'm in the middle of doing it. I'm gonna cut all these pieces out, and then whenever I do the other side, I'm just gonna flip the pattern piece over to make the spiral go the other way.
Something I forgot to mention earlier is I was numbering these pattern pieces while I was going along. As I cut them out, there were 8 total pieces for me. There might be more or less for you, depending on how large you draw your spirals. And whenever you cut out the back pieces, make sure that you flip the pattern so that the patterns match up on both sides. After I cut them out, I very carefully sewed them up. You want to be very careful sewing on a curve because it'll end up looking messy really easily. Whenever I got to the bottom part, I wanted to make sure to follow my sketch and do these little waves on the bottom, which were pretty easy. All I had to do was sew it a little bit differently.
We're already on the floor. So, already got that side. This is how it looks so far. Very, very cute. I'm already obsessed. I'm gonna take my pattern pieces and make sure that everything matches up the way that it should.
The pattern pieces did in fact match up beautifully. All I gotta do is cut them out. I'm gonna remind you one more time to flip your pattern piece before you start cutting out the back panels. Also numbering them, and I even used the other piece to check to make sure that I was cutting all the appropriate pattern pieces out.
We gotta get a move on because I want to wear this today and it's already 12. So I have everything together except for the entire other side. I'm leaving that because first of all I want to sew the waistband on, and then I want to sew up the side with the buttons. So what I'm gonna take the waistband and I'm going to sew them like that so that both of the sides that I want to be touching will be touching, and then I can just fold the top half back over and it'll look nice.
To explain a little bit further on the waistband, I started with the underskirt the way it's supposed to be and turned the top part inside out, and then sewed along the top of the waistband so that I could fold over the top part and it'll be smooth and nice.
Oh, the light died. Are we raw dogging the rest of this? I don't know. I'm just gonna sew up, not the first panel, but the rest of it down the side. And I'll come back to you to try it on.
So it went over my butt, that's all that really matters. And then I have these fashion buttons that you can just pin wherever you want, and I used that as a substitute for buttons right at this moment because I did not feel like going to Michael's. I was not going to make an extra trip right now. I needed this done immediately. So I just poked those right through and put them in as buttons, and that worked great. And after the buttons were all in and everything was fitting on my body properly, it is time to go take pictures.
So, hi. So I think this came out great. I am going to fix the buttons eventually. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. But I feel on top of the world. I feel like I did such a great job. Never had a sewing project come out this great before. Like, there were barely any mistakes in it at all. And I'm unbelievably excited to have this in my wardrobe forever. I'm at the park, so a little bit of public embarrassment. Anyway, I hope you had a great time watching this. I had a great time making it, and that's gonna be it for this week. I'm so excited and so happy. Oh my god. All right, love you. Remember to like and subscribe and everything, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.